Hello, everyone, and welcome back to News Reviews for last week, which is July 1st, and we're going to go through today, July 9th. And the reason why I'm a little late is I left last Thursday and took 14 hours road trip to Hilton Head, and so I'm a little bit behind after spending time with family and just now getting a chance to do this review. However, you haven't really missed much. There's a ton of news articles out there, but none of them are saying very much at all. So we're going to sift through the noise, and then we're going to expose the truth of what's really going on. All right, Fox News, which is center left. Another Democrat lawmaker joins calls for Biden to drop out of the presidential race. All of this is scripted, so this isn't really news. It's because of the debate. I didn't even do a debate video because it's all nonsense, scripted trash. But all these people calling for Biden to drop out of the race, it's all a distraction. This is just sad and pathetic. Biden delivers strong speech touting NATO amid health questions, Democrats' concerns. Show of strength. Now, this is FoxNews.com talking about show of strength, strong speech. Let's move on. Trump drops major hint on his running mate and timing of announcement. Doesn't really matter who his running mate is. I heard a while back and then again recently that it might even be John F. Kennedy, who's supposed to be dead. Either way, all of this is just a big show. It's a big scripted Hollywood production. So let's move on. None of these matter. White House will try to point to other shiny things to distract from Biden's health. What if Biden's health is a distraction from the things that are really important today? Biden's cabinet has not discussed invoking 25th Amendment, Yellen says. In my opinion, Janet Yellen is a plant, an infiltrator, not qualified to do what she's doing, and she's basically a moron from the things I've heard her say. All right, I don't see much else on Fox News. Let's go to MSNBC, far right. Maybe we should have listened to Jon Stewart. No, don't need to hear anything he had to say. Democrats can replace Biden, but it won't be like anything we've seen before. Big scripted Hollywood production here. Why Trump is suddenly obsessed with debunking one of his most infamous quotes. Nope, that's not news either. We've read through Project 2025's 900-page MAGA playbook. Here's what you need to know, and the way you need to think. No thanks. The far-right House Freedom Caucus continues to shrink. Don't care. Biden silenced his doubters? Really? No. Not really. Now, let's focus on the actual threat to our democracy. Oh, I can't even say it. It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. It's not even a republic. It's a constitutional republic. Cannot stress that enough. It is not a democracy. They're really trying to shove that down our throat. Why Trump keeps demanding credit for Biden's insulin breakthrough. Biden has never had any kind of breakthrough in his life. Some folks need killing. Calls for violent Christian nationalism are going mainstream. Oh, great. Now they've got a plant. I told you, so they're trying to term the Christian nationalists or people who think that their rights come from God and not from the government. Even though that is the truth and that is the way it is, never accept their terminology because I'm not a Christian nationalist. Although I do believe my rights come from God and not the government, I don't accept their term of Christian nationalist. And here's why. Let's see what this story says, and I'll show you. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor takes Christian nationalism to dangerous low. Mark Robinson's newly explicit calls for killing perceived enemies show how seamlessly Christian nationalists can slide into promoting real violence. Here we go. Yeah, this guy's a plant. I don't know him, don't care to know him. If he's saying these things, then he is a plant to try to railroad Christians right into prison or death, because this is not how true Christians are. We show Christ's love. We don't call for killings of our enemies, political or otherwise. There is evil, and I will go after demons in a heartbeat, but I'm not going after people and go after the demons. So yeah, this guy's a plant. No, they're bad. Kill them. Yeah, this is all part of the agenda. This is all part of the scripted mainstream narrative, this big Hollywood show. Here's that weirdo Rachel Maddow. She's all, oh, they're so happy and laughing and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Ridiculous scripted nonsense. All right. I don't see a whole lot else here. Let's see what the Gateway Pundit had for the last week and a half. He has a team. Whoa, Karine Jean-Pierre confirms Biden is not the first person contacted if Pentagon detects incoming nuke in middle of the night. Yeah, because he's asleep during the day and the night. So yeah, he has a team, and he doesn't really make any decisions anyway. He's a puppet. He's just a figurehead. Lawless. Chuck Schumer announces scheme to strip President Trump of court-granted immunity and send him to jail. So this is a warning to all of you would-be conservatives or do-gooders that it doesn't matter who backs you. Even if it's the Supreme Court, they will still do to you whatever they want to do to you. That is the message they're sending loud and clear. Message received, you communist pukes. Software expert. Thousands of duplicate ballots were counted in Georgia 2020 election. But if there's no accountability, what does it matter? House Judiciary releases detailed report on how Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg and Judge Merchan violated the constitutional and legal rights of President Trump. Yep, but what does it matter if there's no accountability? Some people are above the law. The great seducer. Macron allows leftists to burn the French Republic to try to rule over the ashes. Not surprising. Probably a true story. Just in, GOP-led House committee adopts amendment to reduce Attorney General Garland's salary to $1 until he releases the Biden-Hurd tapes. First of all, how is this guy still in the position? He is so corrupt, in my opinion, and he doesn't really need the money. There's no accountability. Will Joe Biden drop out this weekend? Senator Manchin hints at major announcement. Wait until this weekend for a better, clearer view. Who cares what this moron says? They're all pandering, trying to distract everybody with the whole who's dropping out, who's replacing him. It's all scripted, doesn't matter. Just in, Biden expected to veto Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, preventing illegals from voting in presidential elections. Claims bill is based on easily disproven falsehoods. They're just throwing it in your face that they will do whatever they want, and there's no accountability. I sound like a broken record because that's what the news is. Just the same thing, different story. It's not really news here, folks. It's very likely that Barack Obama is a homo, but, Christ's love teaches us to love the man and hate the demons. Barack Obama, hard to love because he's got a lot of demons. Not because he's a homo, it's because he's demonized. And not everyone who's homosexual is demonized, but many times that will be the case. And when it's not the case, it's just a learned behavior. It's not because they're born with it, unless it's a generational curse. All that can be broken. But sometimes people fight for it because they don't know any other way of life. And they don't know how it can be better. And it can be better. MSNBC's resident wacko Joy Reid says she'd vote for Biden even if he were in a coma. Yeah, they are really trained well how to stick to the narrative that beating Trump is all that matters. And really, neither one of them matter. America last. New York City mayor blows another 2.6 million taxpayers' money on prepaid debit cards for illegal aliens, bringing total spending to a whopping $2 billion. It's more theft. Huge heist in every state just about. But there wasn't much news about this guy in the election and how it appeared to be election fraud and voter fraud. I believe this guy was just installed. I don't think that he was voted in at all. I hope he's awake for it. Ouch. Biden's own campaign volunteer disses Crooked Joe. I mean, this could be staged. They're all trying to discredit Joe Biden. They're on the other hand trying to be two-faced and double-minded about, oh, we need to keep Biden, and oh, he's going to stay in the race, but oh, he's going to drop out, and oh my gosh, oh, what's going to happen? Oh, it's a shell game, and none of it really matters. Does not affect our day-to-day life. Hollywood actor Jay Johnston, who assisted injured protester on January 6th and held up a shield to block pepper spray, pleads guilty to junk DOJ felony. So either he is a plant, another infiltrator to plead guilty to these fake charges and give them some credibility, or he is just a weak, pathetic person. Who will replace Biden? None of that really matters. Oh yeah, Gretchen Whitmer. What a terribly demonized woman that is. Gavin Newsom. Ugh. Kamala Harris. Ugh. Terrible choices. Yeah, this is the best America has to offer. Yeah, right. NEA, National Education Association president, goes on an unhinged rant during annual meeting. Our students are depending on us to win all the things. Yeah, these people are not for the best interests of our children's education. They are grooming our children. They are ruining their lives. and ruining their minds. They cannot be trusted. They are traitors, pure and simple. Chaos in France. Leftists and radical jihadists parade in street calling for open borders and attacking police following shock election victory. This is probably a preview of what they want to do here, having terrorists and protests in the streets so much that you are afraid to go outside. But you don't need to be afraid. If you want to know why you don't need any fear, hop on over to the Good News Network on productofthesystem.com. Bizarre. Reporters kicked out of Biden coffee shop campaign stop, forced to film Biden through shop window. Oh, I know this type of person. Yep, they're bullies. They are trained bullies. And they think they're going to get a seat at the table, but they're not. German soccer captain says his country has been overwhelmed by migrants, no longer safe to live there. It's going to be true of every country unless we can stand up against them. Boeing to plead guilty to deadly 737 MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019 to avoid criminal trial. It's so nice to have the kind of money that you don't have to go to criminal trial. What if you can murder somebody and be like, well, I mean, come on, how much do I need to pay to avoid the criminal trial? Okay, sure, I'll pay it. All right, here's that weirdo, Rob Reiner, very demonized person. Time to stop effing around. Meathead Rob Reiner now calls for Joe Biden to step down and bid to say, ooh, there it is again, save democracy. He's an idiot. It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Oof, makes me want to vomit. Wow. This is Biden. Like, people can't deal with him. Oh, his health is bad. Oh, he's slow walking to podium with instructions. Is there any ice cream to the little girl? Biden tells creepy story about pulling over to talk to schoolyard kids during stop at Democrat campaign office in Philly. Yeah, some people go to prison for pedophilia and stalking children. Just saying. And some people are just above the law. Yeah, wow, there's just feds on parade. There's just so many of this infiltrator, agitator, false flag nonsense going on. Christian Army rises in San Francisco, a response of hope and true freedom following the Naked Pride Parade. At first glance, this is a hopeful story, positive story, but they call it a Christian army. And that will be used against true Christians, followers of Christ. It's going to be used against us to be called an army, politically motivated or violent. Watch the wording. Shouldn't have to. There's no free speech, not really. Explosion at defense weapons facility in Arkansas leaves one dead. I wonder how that happened. Probably the same way all the chicken factories and pork factories keep getting blown up. Strange. Biden White House update. Everyone is miserable. Feels like Weekend at Bernie's report. This is pretty funny because I did the same thing basically. I just didn't think to do Kamala, and Obama is the ones holding him up. The fix is in. Washington State abolishes residency requirement for voter registration. What's the point of having any voter laws? Wow, there really just isn't much news in the last week, over a week. Billionaire Trump backer David Sachs. What democracy really means to them is permanent rule by the Democratic Party. That's probably a true statement, but it's not a democracy. But they want to implement and institute a democracy. That's true. Because then they can fake the democracy. And when they fake the democracy, they just tell people that's what the people wanted, and people will just go with it. No, that's called theft. That is theft of a country, theft of government. It is fraud. It is treason. No, don't accept it. Do not consent. Democrat governors say they support Joe Biden staying in the race after meeting with him at the White House. It wasn't him at the White House that convinced you to change your mind, because nobody in their right mind would be okay with Joe Biden being in the race if he actually was mentally in the race, or being in the White House, for that matter, as if he were truly elected. In my opinion, he's not truly elected. Biden's non-binary pup handler and luggage thief Sam Brenton gets sweetheart plea deal, avoids jail. Yeah, nobody's above the law, right? I mean, at least he had to take a little slap on the wrist, but they're still above the law. Don't be fooled. Unhinged actress from Orange is the New Black calls on Biden to assassinate Trump. Take him out, Joe. No one's above the law, huh? But if a Christian were to say something like that, they would never hear the end of it. Developing. Rudy Giuliani disbarred in New York for challenging 2020 election. What if licensing didn't really matter? What if all the indoctrination schools, colleges didn't really matter? Should we really need licenses to practice law? Because obviously there's a two-tier justice system. If I was Biden, I'd hurry up and have Trump murdered. BBC presenter sparks outrage after calling for murder of President Trump. This is to get people thinking about them coming after Trump. Of course, they did this a few years ago, like 4 years ago. They made you feel like he's never going to take office because they'll murder him. And now they're trying to do this again. Even if he wins, they'll murder him. And it's all big distraction, shell game, scripted stuff. Another pro-Biden social media influencer caused to assassinate Trump. It's easy to track these people, and you're just letting them get away with these things. So obviously they're in on it, or they're sanctioned, or they're above the law. Take your pick. Either way, two-tier justice system. AOC promises to impeach justices who supported Trump's immunity. Calls SCOTUS an assault on American democracy. It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Do not give in to their narrative. Do not use their words and their lies. I do not consent. Yeah, girl, I'm out in these streets. I guess she had some actress fantasies at some point, aspirations of somehow acting, and now she's playing in the biggest role of her life, but she failed miserably. No one would ever hire her to be an actress. Terrible performance. Take all of them out. Zoomer Biden superfan tweets about military offing Trump and Supreme Court justices following immunity ruling. Trump campaign response. It could just be a bot. If it is a real person, it would be easy to find them. I know because I'm an IT expert, and most of these people pretend like they can't do anything, but they can. They can find them. So the two-tier justice system, they are above the law. MSNBC's resident wacko Joy Reid claims Biden's health irrelevant. He could be in a wheelchair. I don't care, as long as Trump doesn't win. I think this is good because she's so ridiculously over the top about doesn't matter. It could be a weekend at Bernie's, and she would vote for him. And I think that's actually going to open the eyes of her target demographic. And we all know who her target demographic is. But I think they're actually going to wake up because she's so ridiculous. Florida man arrested after shooting down Walmart delivery drone. Now, this is important because this is actually news that matters. They're trying to scare people from shooting down drones. I'm not even going to read the article to know why. Maybe he was in the wrong. Maybe he violated some law or some ordinance. Probably the drone was flying over his property. Who knows? People could use drones to spy on you. I never agreed to allow drones over my airspace, over my home. So it kind of is what it is. You can make up all these rules about what we can and can't do. That doesn't mean they're just or they're right. And they're trying to scare you from taking out anything that is a drone or military, anything like the guard dogs that will rule the streets and keep you in check and have guns on their backs. If you take them out, then you will be liable for a crime. And then they'll probably try to tell you that, oh, those guard dogs with guns are to keep you safe. Get back in your house before 8 p.m. A private citizen cannot criminally prosecute anyone, let alone a former president. It's true, but two-tier justice system. Outspoken atheist goes viral after publicly coming to realization about God. That's a good story, actually. A once outspoken atheist who previously argued against the existence of God did an about-face on social media on Monday and explained she is trying to further her relationship with him. Good. I would pray for her for wisdom and counsel from the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name. All right, folks, that's pretty much all the news there is. I'll see you guys next week. I'll try to do this around Saturday or Sunday. Have a good one. Take care. God bless.